Aloha. Welcome, everybody. Can you give me an aloha back? Aloha. Awesome. Thank you so much for being here this evening. I'm Luana Kaba'a. I'm Richie's daughter. And we're going to get started with dinner. And then at 6:30, we're going to do the formal presentation. So I'll be talking a little bit more at that time. And also during dinner, there's going to be a video playing that we invite you to watch with all of the crazy, amazing things that Richie has done over his 50 years of flying. Yeah, I think that deserves a round of applause. So we're gonna get some food over here, get some drinks, we'll have the video going, and then at 6:30 we'll begin the program. So mahalo for being here. So let's pule kako. E kea kua manaloi loko kalani. Ke o me ka ini mako ya oe kea kua mo whiria ahi ahi nani a mai ka inoho inoka. Ho me ka ina I keia kānene o Richie no na mea ana I hana ai ma ke ioho nua nei no ka ho'o hano hano ana. Iaia. Mahalo noho ino keia no po e apo I apo po mai ia me ia mahalo pu no ka mea ai. Ana ngā liba, nā lako I ho'o mākau kau I ka mea ai. E olu olu e ho'o po mikai. I keia mea ai I ho'ola a ho'o I kaika I ko mākau mau kino mai te po'o a haiku. Eia ka leo pule haa. Haa makai noa o ke keiki hamolele o Yesu Christo. Amen.
Amen.
So that means go eat.
Just the ultimate experience of freedom. It's just great. It's up there in peace and quiet and wind blowing through your hair. It's like a motorcycle and stuff.
Maui's Richie Olsten is a veteran flyer, 22 years to be exact. Licensed as a pilot for both helicopters and airplanes, he's as comfortable in the air as he is on the ground. And you'll see in a moment, his most favorite fearless feat is just sitting back and taking in the view.
All the guys I know, Richie is going to be the craziest. It's just nothing unnatural. If it's dangerous, exciting, he's either done it or he's going to do it.
How's it going, David?
Richard's co-pilot today, Jamie Morris, is also a double certified pilot. Today, they decided to combine Jamie's piloting expertise with Richard's daredevil demeanor and see what they get.
When I'm on the wing, if I'm not looking at you, you need to get my attention. I like you to raise the left wing up.
Before we go out, we have a briefing where we discuss everything that could possibly go wrong. And we devised a set of hand signals just in case an emergency should come up.
Their plan is to head out over West Maui, where Richard's going to take a walk on the wild side. He's actually going to leave the security and comfort of his custom Great Lakes biplane cockpit and have a seat on the wing instead. Richard will be the first to admit that this is not something he does very often. Well, even though he's been living on Maui for 25 years, chances are slim that any Valley Islanders have actually caught it in the act. But as the old saying goes, practice makes perfect, and this is as good a time as any.
I got tired of flying from point A to point B straight and level, and I wanted to be able to be totally maneuverable and just go wherever you want to go, upside down, and all the unusual attitudes.
With 6,000 hours of flying behind him, Richard is a pro when it comes to piloting airplanes. And he wants to be an equally good wing walker. So after taking position at about 1,000 feet over the West Maui coast, and with an airspeed approaching 100 miles an hour, he starts to leave the cockpit.
is like stepping into a hurricane. The combination of the wind speed and the propeller wash is just an incredible force on your body. It even makes your skin ripple. And it's the most difficult time to hold on to the aircraft at that point.
Concentrating on keeping the biplane straight and level, Richard inches forward towards his wing side seat. One false move, and this could be Richard's final flight.
Well, the pressure is really kind of on me, because if I can't counteract the forces that he causes up there on the wing, we could both be in trouble.
It's dangerous in as much as you're getting out on the wing and you don't have a parachute on, or you're not tethered to the aircraft in any way, shape, or form. So if you slipped and let go of your grip, you're going to be going for a flight, all right. The critical thing about this maneuver is that you have to be strong. If you can't hold on to the aircraft, you can't wing walk.
He made it. All he has to do is hang on and enjoy the unobstructed view.
What I really enjoy about it is it's definitely not boring. It's not every day you can look out and see somebody walking and everything, and it's a lot of fun.
I just can't wait to get out and do it again.
Tonight we're here to honor who you all know as Richie, who I know as Dad, and who our family knows as Papa Nui, or Big Papa, because we've got more than one Papa in our family. So at home he's Papa Nui, but I also heard he's Papa here too. Yeah? And maybe some other nicknames like Captain Papaya. His papaya days are over though. I don't see him eating papayas like he used to. But we want to honor Richie tonight, and I'm going to share a little bit about his flying background and some of the incredible things that he's done. And he just gave this to me, so bear with me. In 1971, Richie did his first flight lesson in a Cessna 150, and then a month later, his first solo flight in a Cessna 150 again. He did his first solo cross country in 1972, and then got his private pilot training during that time as well. His first passenger to fly with him was his brother, Bruce, and they flew to Kihei and back in the Cessna 150. He was able to take his dad up. They went to McKenna and back. Some of the things he did early on, right after getting his pilot's license, he dropped flowers and ashes for the mortuary. I remember my mom going up with him one time and helping him with that. And it was a really interesting experience because I think that they got more ashes on my mom than released from the actual airplane at that time. But he did all kinds of different things. That's just one of the examples. I remember him dropping flowers at different events when I was younger as well. We did a hula, I think it was a hula exhibition at the stadium one time, and I remember him coming over and dropping carnations, and I always felt so proud that that was my dad doing that. He learned to tow the banner, and he was the first person, he and his father were the first in Hawaii to tow a banner. And they did advertising for the t-shirt factory for many, many years. He started, in 1979, he started a radio contest on KMVI. I think we're dating ourselves if we know KMVI radio station. But if those of you who are older might remember that he would get dressed up in this like pilot's outfit and be the Phantom. And he would chase down cars and pull them over, and then he would like give away prizes, t-shirts and other prizes from the radio station. And I remember he drove this big, what kind of truck was that, Dan? a big Ford pickup with like KC lights and like stripes, pinstripes coming down the side, and you would see the Phantom coming, and you would hope that he would pull you over because you would get this load of prizes. And so he did that for many years with KMVI. He also towed the banner, and it said, "Marry me, Gigi," for his late brother, Bruce, when he got engaged, and that's how his wife said yes. She said yes at that time, Auntie Gigi. He flew to California, went to Screaming Eagle Aviation at Santa Paula Airport, and he got checked out in a Great Lakes plane by stuntman Mike Downey. And then he bought that plane and brought it back to Maui. In 1983, he got his commercial helicopter license and started his own helicopter business. I think, was it Richard's Helicopter Tours of Maui? He and my mom did that for many years together. And okay, so some of the things you saw on the video. How many emergency landings have you had, Dad? 7 emergency landings. So I remember, I think, 5 of those emergency landings, and one was on Oahu. I think that was in Hawaii Kai, and in that one was the one you saw with Bob Jones, that little reel that was running, and then he had to take off from that area. And if you could see, he couldn't even take off straight, right? He had to kind of turn when he was taking off, and they filmed that because it was such a feat to be able to take off from that particular location. And I remember him telling me that was probably one of the closest calls we felt, not able to tell up from down at that time, and then there was just a puka, a hole all of a sudden in the clouds, and he was able to see a clearing where he could land, and he was able to land safely. I remember another time he didn't, I think that was the oil leak, and he had to emergency land over in Kapalua. And so he landed on the highway. Luckily, there were no cars coming. And the security came over in the car and said, "Hey, you don't get parked here." Which was funny. Yeah, I don't think he meant to park there. But in all of these 7 emergency landings, I really credit his skill as a pilot in being able to get through those. A few were with passengers, and he was safe, and the passengers were safe as well. He has been part of the Screen Actors Guild since the 1980s, I think is when he first started. He filmed an Oldsmobile commercial over on Hawaii Island and flew over motorcycles with smoke in the air. He also participated in, he did aerobatic stunt flying over in Kihei along the beach area in Kabaole and Makena areas every Sunday. So I remember our family would go down and watch his stunt show that he would do there. And there were also times where he was doing aerobatic stunt flying and things would fall out of the plane. One time it was his keys, his whole set of keys, when he was coming back to Maui, fell into the ocean, and with some help from, was it Harbor? The Harbor Division? Oh, okay, it was the Assistant Chief of Police, happened to be on a boat, if you didn't hear what he said, and circled around and found his bag with all his keys in it and was able to retrieve it, and later on got in touch with him and got that back to him. I also remember a time he was flying over Omaopio, and he had these cushions in the plane, seat cushions, and it fell out. And I remember us getting calls that Richie had fallen out of the airplane. And it was like, no, it was just the seat cover that fell out of the airplane. So he's had a long, long history flying airplanes as well as helicopters. He's worked for many of the helicopter companies here. But I can say, as his daughter, the happiest I've seen him really is his time here. And I think that's because of the sense of ohana that you folks have created. That makes us happy because he comes home. Gosh, you would think we're at an airport or something. Gee whiz. But he comes home happy, right? So thank you to all of you for creating that sense of ohana. A few other things I'll share with you. He participated in the Hydro Fest over at Pearl Harbor, Pu'umomi, over on the island of Oahu for several years. He did that as well. And I could go on and on and on telling you all of the amazing things that he did. He flew over to Kaho'olawe for many years as well, and that's where some of the friends that he flew during that time are here this evening as well. Am I missing anything? Yeah, plenty. Yeah, it's a long list if you want to come check my phone for anything that I missed. But really, when I look at that and I see all of these accomplishments, you know, it makes us as a family very proud for all that he has accomplished, but also the fact that he's the only person in Hawaii, is it, that's receiving this award? Oh, I don't know. Okay, we'll say that, just pretend. Okay, but 50 years of flying, yeah, over 50 years of flying. And so what we want to do now, is that my cue to wrap it up like the Grammy? I hear music going. Yeah, okay, that's my cue. All right, so we're gonna like to introduce Scott Allen. He is the FAA Team Program Manager. He lives here on the island of Maui and met Richie about 20 years ago when Richie was working at Pacific Helicopters. Although he's a member of the FAA, he has always been welcomed here and thought of as a friend. And so he will be presenting the Wright Brothers Master Pilot Award. Please welcome Scott Allen.
It's a great pleasure. No, we're not going to do that. I've known Richie for a long time and got some personal stuff, and would like to read a couple of comments from the nomination letters, and have to say, going right in, like some of this is going to be a little scripted, and some of it's, you know, just right from the heart. But this is the way to do it. Friends, family, ohana. This is the way. It's not the only one in Hawaii, but it's a rare award. It's a rare award. It's a hell of an achievement, heck of an achievement, and heck of an achievement. But I've never seen it done better than this. Never, ever. Wonderful, wonderful food. Yeah, how about it? Everybody that put this together, how about it? Yeah, the Olsten ohana, Air Maui, God bless you. This is huge. This is huge. Okay. Want to read a little bit from Steve Egger's nomination. He's known Richie for more than 25 years. Highly recommend him for the Wright Brothers Master Pilot Award. Knows him to operate aircraft in a safe and professional manner in both piloting and planning, is of high, impeccable moral character, and an outstanding individual, well respected in the aviation community. Richie was a pilot for me at Air Maui, and then he became my chief pilot, and now he is my director of operations. And from Dylan, I don't know how to pronounce your last name, forgive me, so I'm just going to go with Dylan. I've known Richie Olsten for more than 5 years, highly recommend him for the Wright Brothers Master Pilot Award. Richie was my chief pilot, and now he's my director of operations at Air Maui Helicopters. From Cameron Meldal, which I think I'm pretty close. Okay, good. Thank you. I've known Richie Olsten for more than 5 years. Highly recommend him for the Wright Brothers Master Pilot Award. I have always known him to operate aircraft in a safe and professional manner. He is of impeccable moral character and an outstanding individual within the aviation community. Richie was formerly my chief pilot, and now he is my director of operations where I work at Maui Helicopters. And okay, here we go. A couple personal notes, and I can't hold a candle to all you had, but it's been a wonderful privilege knowing Richie, and I'll get to that more. I think I've been privileged to know you since maybe 97, 98. Background 20 plus. Pushing 30, yeah. His first flight was on 24 September 1971, or solo. And he qualified for this award over a year ago. And I seem to recall, yeah, and we talked about this. He confirmed, and you got the clips of it. But remember your banner towing days? I didn't know about the Phantom stuff, so that's cool stories too. And by the way, when we're done, if anybody else has some Richie stories, please share because they're fun. Richie's fun. Mentioned earlier, this is a rare achievement, and every Master Pilot or Master Mechanic award is a seriously big deal. It's huge. It's a Lifetime Achievement Award. Thanks. The highest acknowledgement that the FAA can give to an individual airman, and this is it. Yay! Yeah. The requirements for the award, is this okay now? And thanks for tweaking that. Okay. Requirements include 50 years of flying, no revocations, and being an American citizen. Richie and I both worked at Pacific Helicopter Tours back around 2002, 2003, 2004. And I think the last time I saw you in person before tonight was Costco parking lot. And you know, you see everybody at Costco, right? You know, hey, it's Maui. So anyway, he saw me gimping along in the parking lot and gave me a holler, and it was great to catch up for a few minutes. So it's that kind of a friendship. It's just really good, but we don't see each other very often. Point is, when you personally know, respect, and like the honoree, it makes this very special thing even more special. So this is cool. And remember back in the day when, and you were talking about dating ourselves, but graduate from high school, and it was when we had the big carnation lays, you know, come up to over the eyes. Over the eyes, you're the ace of the base. But you're close to that tonight. You know, I haven't seen that many legs on somebody for a long time, so it's very cool. Yeah. Richie's licenses include commercial pilot helicopter and commercial pilot single engine land, and airline transport pilot multi-engine land. That's where it gets interesting, because you all know how crazy the demand has been for multi-engine land airline transport pilots the last few years. But I'm thinking Richie has truly done his life right. Flying helos is a lot more fun than flying transpac jets 6 or 7 miles above the ocean. Nah, that's not boring. Much, I guess. So I'm kind of envious, but in the context of a somewhat wistful friend, and in a good way. And Richie has also raised a wonderful family. Always a great, friendly guy. You all know that. I mean, that's not a shocker. Stop the presses, right? But he was quite a different guy when I met him all those years ago. And this is the family show. Since he has successfully shouldered great responsibility here at Air Maui and raised a wonderful family, although I guess he might have had just a little help from Stephanie. So, who actually we also honor tonight with our most heartfelt respect and mahalos. This is hard for me to imagine, but my wife tells me it's not always easy being married to a pilot. My wife tends to be a straight shooter, so again, most heartfelt thanks to Stephanie. Mahalo nui. I don't have as many wonderful stories, but I could talk your leg off, but I want to move away from the podium before food starts moving in the wrong direction. So I want to wrap this up with 2 points. Actually, there's going to be 3. We review the blue ribbon package, and this is all Richie's records with the FAA, and we review all this stuff before anybody qualifies for the award. And I was looking, at his first flight and first rating actually. Okay, this is from 1972. Looks like August the 7th, 1972. And Richie was 6 foot and 195 pounds. And now we understand he's 6 foot and 200 pounds. I mean, 5 pounds in 50. Okay. But still yet, 5 pounds in 51 years. If you weren't a great guy, we'd have to hate you, man. So that's a little one. That's a little one, Manini. I saw his flight hours on his application, which was dated 13 December 22. And a lot of guys would not want to have something dated 13 anything. Fear of the number 13 is triskaidekaphobia. Long story, but I know that. And I guess your faith, you don't get caught up in that kind of silliness, just confidence, and that's a good thing. But more importantly, back on 13 December, Richie had 29,180 flight hours, pushing 30,000 flight hours. That's a lot. And doubtless it's more, and growing until the socks are out there on the ramp. But I want to put that number in context for you. If Richie could find a really, really reliable aircraft with a lot of water and power bars aboard, okay? Power bars. And a good autopilot, maybe aerial refueling or nuclear power or some wonderful solar cells or something, but it'd have to be a heck of an aircraft. Because if he took off right after dinner tonight, okay, to get that 29,180 hours and more now, if he took off right after dinner tonight, he would not set foot on the planet Earth again until June the 10th. Okay? And just doing a little math, by the way, 24 hours a day times 365 equals 8,760 hours per year. So that would be June the 10th in the year 2026. That's how many hours 29,180 is. And that's a magnificent accomplishment. I mean, dang. Hey, how about it? So, over 3 years and 4 months of his life in the air. And I'm honored to call him my friend. And it's a rare privilege for me to be able to present this Wright Brothers Master Pilot Award. So, I tell you what, normally we say, come on down, but well, we can come to you. What's your druthers? Okay, okay. Challenge you to a tap dancing contest here. Okay, first off, here is your blue ribbon package, and I hope it brings back some wonderful memories along the way. You can just review that. And I understand you've got your the pins and the flag. Okay. Yeah. Can we have Stephanie come up and do the pin? And I want to have you put one on her. And again, here's the Wright Brothers certificate from the FAA. Okay.
Sorry to camera.
Yeah, how about it? Beautiful. Jump ahead of me, you are. And it's really pretty plaque. After 51 years of flying, I think you have the floor, sir.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, I want to say that it's great having the award being presented by my friend Scott Allen. It's great to have the award being presented by my friend Scott Allen, who, as we mentioned, I've known for over 20 years. As you mentioned, I soloed in the Cessna 150 on September 24th, 1971 here at the Kahului Airport. So this coming September, I'll have flown on Maui for 52 years. And as he mentioned, I've accumulated almost 30,000 hours of flight time in helicopters and airplanes. Yeah, that's my need tonight, so that's... I want to thank my friend Tom Hopman for giving me my very first helicopter lesson on October 1st, 1983. We had hangars next to each other, down in the T hangars back in the day. And one day I asked Tom if he'd put the duals in his 500 and give me a lesson, because I had never been in a helicopter before. So he put the duals in and gave me a lesson, and boy, was I hooked. I was hooked bad. I wanted to learn to fly helicopters so bad. So after that lesson, I went home and I told my wife Stephanie that I want to get a helicopter license and become a helicopter pilot, and thankfully she supported me in my dream. Then on November 10th, 1983, I flew my Cessna to Honolulu and had my first lesson in a Hughes 300. I continued to fly back and forth to Honolulu 3 days a week, taking double lessons, and got my commercial rating on December 29th, 1983, with a total of just 51 hours helicopter time. So now what am I going to do? I have a helicopter rating, but nobody will give me a job with 51 hours helicopter time. So I convinced my wife, Stephanie, that we needed to buy a helicopter and run our own business. And again, she supported my dream. So we borrowed $100,000 from a friend that I bought t-shirts from in the t-shirt business. And he didn't even have us sign any papers. And we used that, because no bank would loan us any money. We didn't have any credit or equity for anything like that. And in January 30th, 1984, we bought a Hughes 300C helicopter from Rotorwing on Oahu. And we flew our first tour on February 1st, 1984, just 4 months after my first lesson with Tommy Hoffman. As Luana mentioned, I'll never forget the passengers, our first passengers, husband and wife, young couple, and the lady was like 11 months pregnant. And if she knew that I only had 51 hours total helicopter time, she would have had her baby. So we were the first company to offer low-price helicopter tours, which we actually called helicopter rides. And the cost was $29.95 for a 20-minute flight. And you got a free t-shirt and a free video with your tour. And we were the first company actually to put a video camera in a helicopter. And it was right under the middle passenger's legs, because we couldn't fasten it because that would be illegal to modify the helicopter. And they just kind of held it with their legs, and we had the camera sitting in the front bubble. And that wasn't tied down because that would have been illegal. And then it was a big VCR tape that we pop out at the end of the flight and give them. We also built the very first hangar on Maui at the heliport here. We subleased half of it to Ross Scott of Sunshine Helicopters. It's now the Maverick helicopter. And I think they've taken good care of it, it looks like. It doesn't quite look the same anymore. We later sold the hangar and our helicopter after I built up over 1,000 hours of flight time in our Hughes 300, and then I was able to work for other companies now that I had more experience. So I've been blessed to have worked for many different operators, and I'm extremely grateful to be back at Air Maui Helicopters, where I hopefully will remain for many years to come. Like my dad and my grandfather always told me, find a job you love and you will never work a day in your life. How blessed I am to look forward to coming to work every day. The thrill and the love of flying has never diminished with me. I can honestly say that every day when I live for the first flight, it still feels like magic to me, and I still get excited. Then as I enter Waihee Valley and I see the beauty of God's creation, I'm sometimes overwhelmed and even shed tears. The other day I saw a couple of whales with a baby, and they were nudging it along and breaching, and my eyes started to water. But maybe that's because I'm getting old, or maybe because I got dust in my eyes from the doors being off. I don't know. I'm blessed to share the skies with my fellow aviators that I've gotten to know over the years, and the newer ones too. The professional courtesy and friendship extended by pilots and controllers is noted and much appreciated. Everyone helps one another and makes Maui a great place to fly. I have made so many friends over the past 51 years of flying on Maui, and I hope to have invited all of them here today to let you know how blessed I am to know you all and have worked with you in the past and the present. I'm extremely grateful for all the tower controllers that I've worked with over the years. You folks do an awesome, great job. You never have to wait very long to depart the hat, and you keep the traffic flowing. The way you keep it flowing is amazing. During busy times, I often hear the airline pilots say, "Great job," after you've handled a big busy time of the day and done it so flawlessly. If I did something wrong or I messed up in some way, I can always call the tower cab and work it out with you guys. And we're all grateful for that type of relationship. I keep the tower cab number on my speed dial on my cell phone. And let's see, there's a reason for that. On September 22nd, 1989, while flying for Alex Air Helicopters, I lost my VHF radio, and I called the tower on my cell phone and got cleared to land at own risk at the helipad. And I think that might have been the very first cell phone landing here in Kahului. I'm grateful for all my co-workers here at Air Maui, for Steve and Virginia, who I've known for more than 25 years, for all of our dispatchers and mechanics and everyone that works here. We have an incredible team of people. Do you know that each day when we come to work, we all hug each other? And at the end of the day, we all hug each other and say goodbye till the next morning. What an incredible company to work for. So before... I don't know if you noticed in the clip they were playing, but one of the things that all the air... Oh. In the clip it showed Amber scaring the heck out of me. She crawled under the helicopter and jumped out in front of me in the hangar to scare me. But that's what all the employees do every day. They find an opportunity to come up behind me and scare the heck out of me. And they said that's it, so I don't need to buy a pacemaker. So before I start crying, I'll change the subject and I'll share a few of my aviation stories. In February of '86, I was flying the Great Lakes biplane, towing the banner for the teacher factory. My normal route would be go to McKenna, go down to 500 feet along the shoreline, all around Kihei, Ron McGregor's, Lahaina, Kapalua, and then come back. When I got to past Olawalu, there was a little bit of oil on my windshield, which is only about this tall. So I grabbed the rag I keep in the cockpit and I wiped the oil off. Then I got to Lahaina, and there was a little more oil on the windshield. And so I wiped that off. And then I realized I must have a serious oil leak. So this is the story that Luana was sharing. So I climbed up 1,000 feet and dropped the banner in a pineapple field above the Ritz-Carlton. And at that point, that's where the road ended. The bridge wasn't built yet. So you stopped at the Carlton, went down to the beach. And that's the story that Luana told. When I came into land, there was traffic coming. There was a big island ice truck heading straight for me, and he didn't move. So I did a go around and came back again. And that time the cars all separated, and I was able to land. And then she told you what happened with the security guard that came up and said, "You can park over here." I swear, if there could have been a UFO landed, and he would have given the same response. It was just doing his job, no parking. So what had happened was the oil line that went to the propeller governor had cracked. So Joe Godfrey, the mechanic that worked on our planes, took several hours for me to get out there, and he unscrewed the broken fitting, found a piece of wood on the ground, pulled out his pocket knife and whittled it down and pounded it into the hole in the engine and filled it full of oil from Napa, and the cops blocked the road and I took off and flew back to Kahului. If you're wondering why I didn't land at Kapalua, it's because the airport wasn't built yet. That was a year later. Another one it showed in the clip there, it showed the Great Lakes biplane with the wings being taken off of it in the cane field. So I just had my Great Lakes biplane recovered by Air Service and the engine overhauled, brand new crankshaft that I had to have made special from Lycoming. And we're on the test flight with Raja Sigaran, the manager of the engine shop at that time. And he said, "How's the oil pressure, Richie?" And I looked and there was no oil pressure. So I landed on a dumpster strip at Kuniha, which is all houses now. And he wanted to leave the plane here overnight and come back in the next day. I says, "No, we can't do that. We got to get it out of here tonight." So he got some other mechanics with a couple of pickup trucks. They took the wings off, put them on the trucks. Then I had a Lincoln Town car I rented over there. I opened the trunk and I tied the tail of the plane into the trunk. And it was night now, it was dark, and turned on the flashing beacon, and we drove down the H1 freeway, going behind the town car with two trucks behind with the wings on it. And we're going along the freeway, and all of a sudden a motorcycle cop comes along like this, and he looks at this, and he goes, "No." I just kept happening. Another time when I was flying my pitch special, I was doing aerobatics over Kihei, and I was doing snap rolls, and that's kind of a violent maneuver on the plane. And I did another snap roll, and all of a sudden, the control stick, broke off. It broke and fell down into the center of the belly of the plane. that particular plane had two little tabs on below the horizontal stabilizer that were used to trim it in flight. There was a lever on the side to do that. So by moving that lever, I was able to lower and raise the nose with engine power. And I literally leaned left and right to direct the plane and called the tower and had them they had the crash chute come out because I didn't know how the landing was going to be. But I was lucky it was right down runway 2. And this is, usually I would go aerobatic practice early in the morning. And so it was about 7:30 in the morning, so the winds were calm and it came straight in and landed, no injury to me or to the plane. So I know that angels have watched over me. And she told you the Oldsmobile story, the commercial where I was coming back and from the Big Island filming a commercial, and it was kind of a boring flight, so I decided to fly real low over the water. And then I saw a boat in front of me, but I had to climb up to 500 feet to be legally over him. And then when I pulled up and then put the nose back down, my suitcase, my bag on the front seat just floated out and disappeared. So and then you know the rest of the story on that one. I'd often take people for rides in the Great Lakes biplane. And one of my favorite tricks to do, and I did this to Captain Kirk. So the passenger rides in the front seat, right? So they can't see me in the back, or they can't see what I'm doing. So I would climb out of the cockpit and crawl along the side of the plane and pop my head up in the windshield in front of them. I did that to you, right?
Remember what I said?
No.
Get the hell back in there! We're on final!
Yeah, we're on final. So I did that to quite a few people, even people that didn't have pilot's license. I'd get them the airplane trimmed up and flying level, and just have hold the stick and I'd climb up. Remember Charlie, Sammy, the mechanic for Molokai Air? Yeah, way back. I did it to him. Oh, he had a heart attack. Oh my gosh. Anyhow, the stories could go on and on and on, as my daughter said, but I've been blessed to never had any injuries to myself or to the aircraft that I'm flying. Again, I'm grateful to have a job that I love and to work with friends and with all of you amazing people. I'm grateful for my wife. This coming May, we'll have been married 50 years. And she has put up with a lot, I tell you. I've been blessed with 2 daughters, 2 sons-in-laws, 9 grandchildren, 4 great-granddaughters-in-law, 1 grandson-in-law, and 6 great-grandchildren. I'm grateful to my Heavenly Father for all these blessings. What's the most important thing I've learned in over 50 years of flying? If you're running late, call your wife and let her know. As you guys can verify, Stephanie has some kind of radar because it never fails. Almost every day at the end of the day when I walk in to say goodbye to the dispatchers, my phone rings and they'll say, "It's Stephanie," and she'll say, "Are you done yet?" And that doesn't matter if I finish early or late. She somehow just knows when I've landed. So mahalo to everybody for coming here tonight and sharing this great blessing with me. And I'm grateful for all of you. And I don't know, there's nothing in the world I'd rather be doing than flying and being with all you amazing people. Thank you.